The smell of a pumpkin-y candle. Texture, soft plaid against a man's skin. And of course, the smell of Old Spice. Man stuff. You need a man sound? Well, I'm working on one. I can't believe I kept my face straight all that time. Hey gang, Troy W. Hudson, the voiceover with personality, and I am officially creating a new demo called either a manly sound or gravitas or just my he demo. I don't know what you'd call it. Troytosterone. I don't know. I'm still working on that. But I'm creating an ad for social media by creating a new demo that features more of the rugged, manly sound that I've been called on to do for various clients, be it corporate, be it commercial, be it product. It's kind of become a niche, or as the French would say, niche. So I was going to light this, but oh, heck, just go ahead and light it. It actually had a nice smell. Let's see. I'm afraid to get it too close to the... I spent $60 on this windscreen here. I don't think I want to burn it. It actually does have a very nice smell. And it actually, I've discovered it generates heat if I keep it too close up here near the monitor area. You can't really see it, but it's essentially in front of me. Now, if I have it behind me, it's not too bad. The smell wafts through the air and it's kind of nice. I don't do it while I'm recording because I can actually hear the occasional pop, pop, crackle. So I think because of the heat, I'll just put it back here. Put it back here with the LED lights, and that'll be nice. Well, anyway, gang, this is edition number 3. 1, 2, 3. If this was bowling, I'd have a turkey 3 in a row of my voiceover weekly stew. And I want to get back on track. I've got a topic I want to discuss toward the end of this, but I want to get on track and just kind of step through kind of the way I would normally do this, how I've done it in the past, and that's just kind of give you a recap of the projects I did, the kind of projects I did, the variety, maybe share a sample or two, but for the most part, just kind of rifle off, list off, rifle off. I've been watching a lot of Grit TV. That's a channel with all Westerns, and I'm liking it. I bought an antenna for my TV. I've been shooting off my mouth and rifling through these projects. Speaking of which, I've got a Thanksgiving joke that I just want to go ahead and get out of the way right now. Okay, you ready for my one joke? I only got one. So hold on to your hats. What kind of sauce would you put on a turkey burrito? If you said cranberry sauce, you're right. I actually wrote that back a few years ago, and it's become kind of a hot topic at family get-togethers during the holidays. There's a raging debate on whether that's actually funny or if it's just kind of sad. I kind of categorize it in the second tier level of dad joke, the dad joke comedy category. I could be wrong, but I'm not. On that Monday, the 14th of October, had a challenging project from a client. The client themselves, they were not challenging. The language in the project was challenging because it was the location, the voiceover was for a promo for a location, kind of a resort area located in Southeast Asia. And many of the words were repeated of geographical areas that were not English sounding or easy to just roll off the tongue. So the client had to provide me an audio file to help me along the way, which was wonderful, and I appreciated that. Otherwise, if I just looked at it phonetically and just said it, it would have really not been good. I would have totally messed up and had to redo it. So that project actually came through Upwork. And I'll tell you where the projects come from along the way. The next project was for a voice for an answering service, a business voicemail for a client through Fiverr, and they wanted me to do a kind of a cowboy voice with a Western theme music. So I pulled up a piece from audioblocks.com where I get 90% of the music. The other 10% I pull from Digital Juice. Moved on to freelancer.com. A client sent me a promotional voiceover for a music service. And so knocked that out. Then for most of the rest of the day, I hung out with family. I got a call mid-afternoon from the folks at BYP, Bill Young Productions in Texas, whom I've been doing, it doesn't matter. Say whatever you want to. They called me. I've been doing Jerry Seinfeld comedy event tags for them for the last, I want to say, 19 months now, since around March or April of 2018. And I thought it was just a limited tour, but this is like ongoing. So any event he has coming up, the radio TV stations want tags done for the local venues. So I'm the guy that comes on and says, Jerry Seinfeld appearing live at whatever venue it may be. Here's where you can get your tickets. These are the dates. And then they have various tags leading up to the events, so-and-so, and, come see him in 2 days, come see him tonight. Here's your tickets, here's a website to buy your tickets and all that other stuff. Knocked out a few of those for Monday afternoon because they normally need those turned around very quickly. And that's the arrangement that I've worked out with them. So I like to tell people that if I wasn't telling the audiences where Jerry was, he'd be hurting about now. He'd only have, how many shows does he have on right now, plus all the syndication to Seinfeld, the original series? Yeah, no, I'm doing my part. Just yada, yada. Keeping it real, Jerry. You're welcome, buddy. After Jerry's work, I had a lawyer commercial, which was rather unique. I always love unique, creative folks that I get to work with. And this agency said, it was through Fiverr. This group sent me the script, and they said, we need 3 different superhero voices. We need kind of a very strong, heroic Superman kind of voice. And it wasn't Supermanish. It was a superhero, but they called him Superman. And then they need a little less intense Spider-Man, very high energy, kind of this voice. And then they needed, I think it was a villain, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember exactly which one it was. But again, it wasn't a direct impersonation. It was just kind of a play. I didn't get to see the TV spot. Hopefully I will. And then they needed sort of a generic narrator saying Snyderman or Snyderman, because Spider-Man sounded like Snyderman. Snyderman or Snyderman was the name of the attorney. So they were playing off that. I'm sure they'd have a bunch of pows and booms and halftone artwork that, that kind of stuff. Probably not the Donald Duck, but the other stuff, yeah. So that was my Monday. On Tuesday, I had all morning production. So I hung out with the fam later that afternoon. I had 3 Fiverr projects. One was for a nice shaving soap, rather luxurious, high-priced brand that I was syncing up my voice to a French lady's scratch track, and she was speaking extremely fast. No parlez-vous, especially El Speedo. Bad imagery. El Speedo. Okay, no. With shaving soap in a Speedo. Okay, so got that done, then went on from there to do a kind of a project. It was through another Fiverr client, kind of a project that's kind of a hot issue right now, and that is health benefits for a lot of HR departments, a lot of companies. Deadlines are coming up, so open enrollment period is coming up. So this client had used me several times on different HR-type training corporate videos, and I was able to knock that out for him real quick. Not a very long script. Followed by another client on Fiverr, who has had me do several kind of sinister, a bit of a UK sinister voice like this, kind of a doctor. And instead of process, I say process. And for some reason, because I said process, they just keep hiring me. So Wednesday, I had a project with a client from Upwork. They've hired me to do projects before. This was kind of an HR techie sort of a script for a project. I guess you'd call it an explainer video because it was kind of salesy, but at the same time, it was more just explain, the tech parts of this particular program. After the Upwork client, I had a project with a company called Kokosing that I do a lot of e-learning work for. This was a short module. They have a team of instructional designers all over the states. And so I get sent different requests from the various designers, and then I'm able to knock it out. This one was literally within about 2 hours of me getting the email. It was a short script, less than 1,000 words, and then knocked that out and sent it out to them. And so the thing that I like to do for them is to deliver just mind-blowing customer service. So the expectation is when they send me a script, they're not going to wait 24 hours. Fast delivery, great quality, don't let them down. And zero mistakes, too. That's always a plus. On Friday, actually on Thursday, this is the kind of a topic I want to address. I got notified by a client that I've worked with probably 4 or 5 times over the last 2 years. And it was a ministry group. At the last time we worked together, I think was in 2018, but we'd worked together on previous campaigns. They have events coming up, and they wanted me to do radio spots, and I've done several of them, like I said. My rates had gone up since the last time we'd worked together, and that's just a natural process of doing business. I wouldn't say, I don't fire clients. I hate that phrase, and I've heard it before. I think it's just a natural attrition that over time your rates go up because you're getting better and you're looking at marketing to clients that can pay a higher rate, and that means less time on your calendar to do other work. I am of the mindset that those clients that help get me to where I'm at right now deserve some leeway on the rates, and that's just my personal belief. And that's just to say that if it's still within a range, an acceptable range, for example, this client, I quoted them a price of, I think it was $150 to $175 for a 30-second spot that they needed turned around less than 24 hours. So it was going to be, they called me in the afternoon. This was a fiber client, by the way. $150, $175, I forget exactly what the rate was based on that and the rush order. And I give them 2 or 3 options as far as versions to work with. And this particular client had left me the ability to leave me tips is a function on Fiverr, and they had left me very generous tips each and every time, even though the rate was not up to where my rates currently are. I decided, okay, what do I do? We've worked together before in the past. They were flatlined at, they said, $100 budget for this particular campaign. Okay, I'm at 150, let's say 150, 175. Okay, I said, well, let's meet somewhere in the middle, and they just flat out couldn't do it. So what do you, as a provider or a business, do in a situation like that? Do you determine that your rates are fixed and hard and set and that there is no room for negotiation? Or do you realize the benefit of working long-term with a client that has helped grow your business up to a point to where you are now able to charge that higher rate for most other clients? And I decided that after a brief thought, I'm not going to haggle over, $50 or whatever it was, that midpoint that they couldn't come up to. I'm just going to do it at that rate that they can afford because I believed they were truly being honest with me. B, because I'd worked with them on numerous occasions before, and C, because I liked promoting their event. I know that's not something talked about a lot, but honestly, if I like a script or if I like a cause or something that I'm promoting, whether it be a product, an event, ministry, something that is well written, there are many times where I will decide if I have time on my calendar. And in this case, I did. There was nothing else booked for that particular part of the day on Thursday. I will take a project simply because I enjoy it. I have fun with it. And I had fun with this one. And lo and behold, that fixed amount after we agreed, they were very grateful that I agreed to work at that rate. I was able to knock it out in less than 24 hours. I delivered several versions to them, and the end result was they were able to find additional funds, not at my request, but they left me a very nice tip again for the work. So essentially, it boils down to budget. Their budget, your perception of what you do, the value you place on this particular project, and then you have to make a conscious decision as opposed to an unconscious decision, which would be like no decision at all. So you have to make that call about your business, about your value, about your worth, about your time, about your experience, without getting wrapped up into an idea that you are an industry professional charging an industry recommended rates by a bunch of people who have created this rate structure based on what they perceive as what you should work for. So all that being said, not to open that can of worms, but I kind of sort of did. Okay, so let me jump back into my calendar and tell you what else I did. Let's see, Friday the 18th, I did a segment for a healthcare provider in South Carolina for their website, one of their website videos, the About Us section. Knocked that out for Splash Omni Media. And then the afternoon of Friday, I worked with a client from Texas, EWN, Energy World Net, on a long e-learning project. I do a lot of work with these folks and always enjoy them. Great staff. In fact, that's the group I went to Texas and emceed their live event the earlier part of October. And they're just a blast to work with. So they wrapped up my week on Friday. I don't think I had any work on Saturday. No, Saturday was a bum around day and watch Grit TV and all the Westerns because I recently got an antenna. I haven't had cable for a while, but I was missing the old shows, so I got an antenna, watched a lot of old Grit TV, and it helps. I don't think I can use it as a tax deduction. In fact, I'm not using it as a tax deduction. It was only a joke. Saying that for the benefit of any government employees. But it does help me work with some of the Western characters that I watch and listen to do character voices. So yes, it is a good use of my time, even if I sit there and zone out and veg and watch like 8 hours of Westerns. I think it's still time well spent. I call it career research. Gosh, career research. So anyway, that's about all I got for this week's edition of my VoiceOver Weekly Stew. Opened up a little can of worms. Didn't smell too bad. Didn't get too controversial. Hopefully nobody's going to be a hater and leave any nasty comments in any of the places this will get posted. But hey, I understand we're going to agree to disagree, hopefully, and that'll be good. Otherwise, if you guys have any work you need done, shout out Troy at troywhudson.com. Send me an email. Look me up on LinkedIn. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook, a couple of different places. And, the website, troywhudson.com. Hey, you guys be blessed and be a blessing to somebody. In the meantime, I've got a manly promo to finish. See you guys. Bye.